in gambling, obviously, all casinos want to have this image of fairness. Has this really been an issue that the player doesn't think that the games are fair?
Yes.
You do? You think so?
I mean, as a regulator, I saw it. I mean, we'd get complaints all the time. I think gaming companies may not see it, but on the regulatory side, people see it. Is it a major problem? Do the vast majority of players complain? I would say the vast majority of players don't care. That's true. But a subset, a decent subset, 10, 20% do care. And you only need to go on forums and actually see that some people will actually test the viability of games. Regulators actually will follow forums to see if there's complaints on their games. They'll look at other forums to see people testing the games, look at the outputs. You have advantage players that are looking at these things to see if there's a mistake in the code. So yeah, it's a real issue. It's not as small an issue as people think.
And do you think that's true with lotteries as well?
I'm sorry?
Do you think it's the same for lotteries as well?
Yes, probably. The thing is that we have a bit different approach to how we see provable fairness. There was, I know this, due to several discussions we had before, this respected gentleman used their all force, all their resource, to make really 100% perfect and invulnerable RNG, which is not dependent on all the issues which are which go with using a public blockchain. We don't think so, because we think that it's the most simple, most easy to explain thing is using public, well-known technologies, which you call known science.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I sat down playing poker, and I'm sure Jez can do this because he ran a poker company, where you sit down, you haven't played for months, and all of a sudden you get aces on the first hand, and then it happens again in the second hand, and then the third hand. And you think, come on, are they feeding me these cards just because? And it's just randomness, but people believe it, so there's a factor to it.
In my experience, if you only ask players that play online games, they generally feel that the games are fair, and they're already pre-qualified by being online gaming players. But if you were to go into a land-based casino, which I have done, and ask players, do you play online, you often hear people say that, no, I wouldn't play online, I don't want to trust depositing money into a casino. So the issue is one of, there is clearly a perception there, and if you just ask the existing customers, you're not getting a full sample.
Yeah, just to add it up, it's not only random number generation, but smart contracts as well display deposits, withdrawals, how many bets casino had, what's the size of the bankroll. Well, technically, all internal infrastructure of the casino is publicly available to consumer, and that's kind of a service which was not existing before. It's like absolutely new level of transparency, which is beneficial for both consumer and regulator, because consumer knows everything about the casino, so they can have a full trust in the brand, and regulator, they see all the data. They don't need to ask casino to send some kind of data or provide reports, because they can simply see it on the blockchain. So that's well, in the end of the day, it makes entire gambling industry much more transparent and much more efficient. Well, we assume that it should be an industry standard in upcoming, let's say, 5 to 10 years.
I mean, you can see that even now. The UK Gambling Commission is sending out notes saying the industry must be more fair, that fairness is becoming a hot topic, and so the technology that we focused on is about fairness and transparency, and as Tomas said, not just for the RNG, although we have built one that is extremely provably fair, not just in the individual random numbers, but we can prove the sequence is fair too. But as mentioned, the smart contracts and the games are completely transparent using the technology that we built, which gives a level of fairness that is end-to-end, from the random numbers to the game outcomes. Absolutely everything is transparent.
It's not just transparency, though, it's verifiability.
Yes.
Well, I would say it's not just verifiability, because the technology that we built doesn't just verify whether you've been cheated or not. It actually ensures that you're not cheated. And so,
but that's verifiability.
No, verifiability is one step below provability.
Well, provability is another issue. I mean, provability and verifiability. The transparency is a separate issue, in my opinion, from provability and verifiability. They're not the same thing.
Okay, well, we use transparency to get provability.
Well, I can accept that.